All right, we are right at 1 o'clock here on the East Coast. So we are going to get things started with today's webinar. First of all, I want to thank everyone who was able to join us live here for our June webinar, which is going to be on a day in the life of construction and civil engineering. And for those of you who are new to our webinar series, we basically try and take a real life scenario for different types of industries and how our software team works, or pretty much any digital mobile software could potentially help with ROI, um, uh, overall productivity, just running the gamut of different things that our software could do to help a business of this type. So before we get into it, I want to do a couple of little housekeeping items and let you all know that this is a recorded event. And so if you're joining us live, it will be available later on. If you're not able to join us live and you want to watch it, if you have to hop off for whatever reason, this will be available on our website as well as our YouTube channel. And we usually have those available same day, sometimes next day, depending on how quickly YouTube decides to render our videos. And if you are watching this live, you can submit questions to us that we will have a short Q&A session at the end of this webinar. And we'll go ahead and make sure that we answer any of those questions. You are also free to use the chat feature that Zoom has on here for any questions that you might want to have just answered right away, or if it's something that is a little bit longer, then we'll take some time at the end during the Q&A session to answer those as well. All right, so to get right into it, we would like to introduce our presenter for today. Well, actually, before I do that, let me go ahead and introduce myself. I realized I did not do that. My name is Scott Englert. I am the Director of Marketing here at Axsoft. And I have the pleasure of introducing today's presenter, who is Vincent Vasquez. He is our corporate trainer. He's been with Axsoft for over 3 years now, and a really good guy. I work closely with him, and he's pretty awesome. I happen to be a big Star Wars fan, but I recently found out that Vincent is a big Star Trek fan, has a couple of Star Trek tattoos, and is pretty big into it. So that's pretty awesome, Vincent, I gotta say.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Scott, for the warm introduction there. As always, it's always a pleasure working with you. So very appreciative of those words there. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. We're very excited to talk about Teamworks and how it can affect the daily life of a construction worker and civil engineer. A couple of things we're going to touch on today. There's a lot of ways that Teamworks can help in the day-to-day life of a civil engineer, whether that be performing certain calculations, creating cost estimates, even things like customer invoicing, safety and compliance checks, communicating with the office, as well as monitoring those communications, managing job site problems, as well as documenting those problems, scheduling and ensuring deadlines, as well as going to and from job sites, and monitoring your employees as they traverse those job sites. So we're going to touch on a few of those things today, but just to give you an overall view of how Teamworks can help you in your day-to-day life. So just jumping right in, there are certain challenges a civil engineer may face while preparing for a project. Some of these problems can be things like not knowing who is assigned to which specific tasks, having to pick up equipment from the office before going to the work zone, and wasting time by needing to come into the office to clock in or drop off timesheets, drop off any kind of documents that need to be dropped off, things of that nature. So how can we resolve some of these problems? Well, some of the solutions are, communicate clearly what expectations are prior to a project starting, which can help expedite that process. So peace of mind, being able to leave your equipment in the field at the job site overnight without having to worry if your equipment is going to get lost or stolen, as well as giving your engineers tools to clock in or out remotely. So moving right along, what are some challenges that a civil engineer may face while performing the job? Some of those problems could be struggles with cost estimate accuracy. So, never a good thing when, an estimate is much lower than what the actual cost is. Things like receiving information from the office too slowly to keep productivity truly optimized, as well as paper safety and compliance documents that are confusing, have to be manually transported, or if they're handwritten, even having to, decipher, someone's handwriting. And then lastly, unoptimized communication. So what are some of the solutions to these problems? Well, simplifying the process of performing calculations to ensure supervisors are always checking over cost estimates, as well as automating the flow of information from the office to the job site and vice versa, as well as establishing stronger chains of command. So keeping along with the theme, what are some problems a civil engineer might face when a project is completed? Well, inaccurate inventory management being performed, things like difficulty cleaning up a work zone and verifying it's up to certain environmental standards, having no way to dynamically document any equipment wear and tear, as well as inefficiently moving to new projects due to many manual processes needing to take place. So what are some of these solutions? Well, creating a more efficient system for collecting used equipment, paying greater attention to environmental regulations, tracking vehicles and equipment that are used on an individual basis, and also obtaining photos, odometer readings, and other critical pieces of data. And automating processes wherever possible without sacrificing quality or accuracy. So, what are some of the challenges of the back office when it comes to civil engineering? Well, one of the challenges is poor communications with engineers in the field. With Teamworks, you can create a more resilient channels of communication and have backups in place in the event of any outages. Another challenge would be manual data entry. So using Teamworks, you can automate data entry for typical back-end processes wherever possible, such as with timesheets. Last challenge of a back office worker would be inefficiencies in tracking overtime hours. So using Teamworks, you can eliminate handwritten timestamps and require managers to approve every overtime request and ensure it aligns with project goals. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some challenges civil engineering managers and administrators face. So one challenge would be difficulties verifying proper safety and compliance. Using Teamworks, you can create more detailed safety and inspection checklists that take note of every aspect of the job site, ensuring that you always remain in compliance. Another issue would be struggles with monitoring project timelines. Using Teamworks, you can find ways to gain greater insight from the field and ensure work zone updates that are regularly conveyed to administrators at the office. And last challenge is an inability to adjust assignments quickly. So using Teamworks, if project goals change or certain engineers need to switch on the fly to new tasks, you can acquire solutions that will allow you to do so digitally. Teamworks is an all-in-one platform meant to digitize your mobile workforce. So some of the features that come with Teamworks are things like wireless forms, job dispatching, mobile timekeeping, handset tracking, intra-company messaging, fleet and asset tracking, geofences, a dispatching scheduler, barcode scanning, and mobile payments. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Just really great features that come with the solution. And here's just a good example of what Teamworks has to offer. So now I want to talk a little bit about some use cases. So a civil engineering firm was tasked with constructing a new bridge. Using Teamworks, they were able to do things like meet deadlines and manage costs. It helped them keep their workers safer. Also, it helped them monitor progress dynamically using photos with the wireless forms feature. The next use case I want to talk about is a civil engineering firm that was tasked with refurbishing an airport terminal. Using Teamworks, they were able to do things like automate many manual processes using features like GPS tracking, job dispatching, wireless forms, and even timekeeping. They were also able to ensure that productivity remained high and cut out trips to and from the office, just making everything a more efficient experience. So in addition to all the great features that were mentioned, there are some added benefits to using the Teamwork solution. Free API integration and up to $18,000 annually of professional or managed services, personalized onboardings, access to module training, which is a $12,000 value, as well as after hours and weekend support. Monthly account analysis and weekly and quarterly reports, as well as monthly app usage reports and recurring training webinars. And I am going to pass the ball back to Scott so he can talk a little bit about this, this trial period here.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, thank you so much for all of the information that you provided for so far. Really good stuff about how this could help us as civil engineering for a firm and engineers in general. So really great stuff. One of the things that we did want to talk about was that right now we are running a promotion of a free 14-day trial that is happening 14works. And one of the really cool things about this trial is it's not a watered down version of the software by any means. You get the entire software from soup to nuts, all the bells and whistles and all that good stuff, so that you can really try it out and give it a good look through before you decide whether you might want to implement this with your business. So if you'd like to check this out, you can do so by going to our website at axsoft.com. There's a banner right at the top that you can click on to sign up for it. It's really easy, and you actually get set up with an actual a customer service rep who's going to basically set up the software with you and get you kind of going with all the things that you're looking for, which is awesome. Another kind of piece of that concierge benefits. Excuse me. So if you'd like to check that out, please do so. I also wanted to mention that the use cases that Vincent had talked about earlier are also available on the website. There's a ton of actual use cases and different stories that are available on there to give you a good idea of exactly how some other companies have used the software in order to increase their productivity and their ROI. So feel free to check those out, as well as there are quite a few videos on some of the features that Vincent also talked about too. So if you're interested in a little bit more on that, since we don't have time to go into each and every one of them, since it is a pretty robust piece of software, we like to call it kind of an all-in-one, because everything works together. You've got your messaging, your timekeeping, wireless forms, job dispatching, and it all works in the same piece of software. So you don't have to go to all types of different areas in order to get that and potentially not have those things work. So that was one of the main goals in when we were developing this Teamwork software. So hopefully you guys would like to check that out. So at this time, we are to the question and answer portion. So I'm gonna just check here and see. I think we have one today that came through. So Vincent, I'll throw this one at you. And someone asked, can digital forms from the software be completed in a chain of command?
Oh, okay. That is a great question. And yes, it absolutely can. So part of the wireless forms feature is has something called form workflows. So one person can start a form, and then it can be routed however you'd like. So essentially, one person begins the form, and then they can pass it along that chain of command until somebody can complete it. So that can help ensure that managers and supervisors are always kept in the loop as to what's going on at a construction site.
Excellent. Perfect. All right. Sounds good. And then we had one more come in asking, we have a civil engineering student watching today, and they're looking for e-certificate of the participation for today. I don't know if we have something like that, but you know what? I will get back to you on that and see if there is something that we might be able to provide for you, because that would, we would absolutely love to help you in your pursuit of your engineering student. So that's awesome. All right, excellent.
Awesome.
Okay. Did not see anything else come in, so I think we are all set, unless there was anything else that you wanted to add to today's session, Vincent. But if not, man, fantastic job.
No, thank you very much, Scott. I hope this was informative to everyone. And give Teamworks a try. It really is designed to be an all-in-one solution to help to help you with your day-to-day processes. So give it a try. And thank you very much for attending today's webinar.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.